2016 edition. Both teams coming to this game undefeated in conference action. Hey, one thing's for sure. Hey, it's going to be a team from North Carolina going to represent the MEAC. Jerry Mack, that's my man right there. All right, so coming up on the other side, we keep talking Celebration Bowl, Celebration Bowl, Celebration Bowl. So coming up on the other side, we're going to talk with the executive director, John Grant, executive director of the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl, will join us right here on the HBCU Report. We are powered by sportsnewsandbrews.com, and we will be right back after these words.
It's the HBCU Report with Rob Calloway.
I heard on the news about that 5-year-old who found his uncle's gun. The kid didn't know it was loaded.
I heard on the news about that 14-year-old girl who was bullied online for like a year. She couldn't take it anymore, so she got her dad's gun from his nightstand.
I heard on the news about that guy who broke into someone's house, stole a gun from the hall closet.
He accidentally shot his cousin in the head.
She killed herself.
And later, killed the owner of the store he was trying to rob.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearms storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
HBCU sports fans, you finally have a voice. The HBCU experience lives here. This is the HBCU Report with Rob Calloway.
This is the HBCU Report. Rob Calloway here with you as we get you ready for this weekend's big matchup between North Carolina A&T and North Carolina Central. The winner is the outright MEAC champion. It'll be the first time in 4 years that there's been an outright champion in the MEAC. And, of course, the winner of this weekend's matchup between Central and A&T will head to the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl being played December 17th right here in Atlanta at the Georgia Dome. And, of course, I've been all over social media telling you that the road to the Celebration Bowl goes through the HBCU Report. And right now, we're being joined by the executive director of the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl. Mr. John Grant joins us on the line. First of all, Mr. Grant, thank you for joining us once again on the HBCU Report.
Rob, thank you so very much for having me back here. I'm just delighted to be with you again.
Not a problem, man. So the last time we spoke, it was week 1 of the college football season. I had you on to basically kick off what is the road to the Celebration Bowl. And here we are. We only have 1 week left. I mean, next week we have the Turkey Day Classic, and we have a few makeup games, and then we have the Bayou Classic, and then after the SWAC Championship, then it's the Celebration Bowl. So I know that you've been traveling around on the trophy tour, the Celebration Bowl trophy tour. So where has the tour taken you this season?
Well, we kicked off here in Atlanta with the Atlanta HBCU Alumni Alliance had a big event at Piedmont Park here back in the summer. The first game we were at the MEAC SWAC Challenge in Daytona Beach. We've been to we got rained out at the South Carolina State Bethune-Cookman game because of the hurricane.
Right.
So we had to cancel that trip. But we were down in Jackson, Mississippi at the Jackson State Southern game.
Which is,
I tell people I'd never been to a tailgate. I thought I had until you go down to Jackson, Mississippi. They tailgate down there.
Oh yes, sir.
And when Southern rolls in, it was magnified. So we've been there. We were over at the Magic City Classic, certainly, and then we're at Howard University's homecoming, and we will be in Durham this week for the game you mentioned earlier, North Carolina A&T versus North Carolina Central. From there, we're at the Turkey Day Classic in Montgomery, and then we'll be in Houston for the SWAC Championship before the trophy makes its way back into Georgia on December the 9th.
As we get closer to the 2016, Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl. What are some of the things that you all have worked on this year, like newly incorporated? Because I know it was a robotics type deal last year. I know you all had the Fan Fest. So what type of things will be going on for the fans that actually be making the trek from wherever to Atlanta?
Well, we've got some great activities. Of course, Atlanta has plenty of things to offer on its own. When you look at the attractions that we have with the Georgia Aquarium, the World of Coke, the Center for Civil and Human Rights, the Martin Luther King Center for Nonviolence, of course, plenty of shopping in Atlanta and more restaurants than you'd probably want to know what to do with. And then, of course, the Atlanta nightlife we think is second to none. All of those things are incorporated, but we have added in partnership with 100 Black Men of Atlanta on Friday night. There is an Atlanta Uplift Gospel concert that's going to be held at Ebenezer Baptist Church here in Atlanta, Georgia. There is an event at the Center for Civil and Human Rights on Friday night, which is a nice party for the millennials, put on by the Emerging 100 of Atlanta. That's a auxiliary group of 100 Black men. They'll be having a real party over there, and then of course we have on game day we've added something called Celebration Bowl Plaza that's being sponsored by Honda right outside the Georgia Dome. A lot of great tailgating, a lot of wonderful food and music will be happening in that venue. And then, of course, there are a couple of things that we've added that aren't necessarily open to the public, but we have a partnership with the National Football League this year. They'll be doing some seminars and workshops for the players, as well as some students from each of the universities and the MEAC and the SWAC conferences. That'll take place. So that's going to give us kind of a full weekend outside of the bowl activities that are designated specifically for the players themselves. And then we are partnering with, finally, the Atlanta Hawks will be playing Charlotte on Saturday night following our game. And so that'll be something great for fans to be able to do, to want to see a professional basketball game, and especially those people that are going to be coming out of North Carolina.
This is the HBCU Report being heard via Spreaker.com. We are on the line right now with John Grant. He is the executive director of the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl. It goes down December 17th, SWAC versus MEAC, for all the marbles. Georgia Dome is where it's going down. Now, in your travels, how much excitement have you seen or heard from the fan base from both conferences, SWAC and MEAC?
Listen, last year was sort of a wait and see. People did not know what the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl was going to be. But those who came loved it, and what we're hearing is that we were there. Whether their school was in it or not, they're coming back. They had a great time because first they had a chance to meet. If you're from the MEAC, they had a chance because of the way we organized the hotels. The hotels are right next to each other, with the Hilton being the headquarters hotel for the SWAC and the Marriott Marquis the headquarters hotel for the MEAC. Fans got the chance to engage with each other, and a lot of what I heard was, wow, we got to meet and hang out with people from the SWAC that we never knew. So there were a lot of new friendships made, and so those fans are coming back. And then those who got a chance to see it on ABC really saw that this was a quality game. We're expecting the same thing this year, and a great experience to be in Atlanta, just before Christmas. So the energy out there is obviously elevated from last year because more people are aware of the bowl game and are excited that it's coming.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Now, one thing that we talked about the last time I had you on the show was the positive attributes that came out of the Celebration Bowl for both participating universities, Alcorn State and North Carolina A&T. Both schools saw the enrollment, double, triple, quadruple, from this fall just because of the exposure that the school received via the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl. So, how impressed are you from that standpoint? The fact that the two schools that participated in the very first one saw such a major influx in enrollment.
Well, we've known, and I think we all have, that one of the great values of having television exposure for, which is why Division I schools have really done a fantastic job of negotiating some really great television deals, because of the impact that exposure has on not just the athletic program, but primarily on student recruiting. So when you look at what happened with North Carolina A&T, their applications for this fall semester went up 90%. Alcorn experienced a similar rise in their applications for the fall, and both schools had record enrollments, actual enrollments for this semester, which is consistent with what we've seen across the platform, across the board rather, when you get this type of exposure for your organization. I'll give you one comparative fact. Alabama has won 4 FBS championships titles since 2009. They won 4. Their non-student residents who pay 2.5 times more tuition have more than doubled from 27% to 63% of incoming students. We know that we will see the same trend for our HBCUs that are in the MEAC and the SWAC conference, especially those who are getting the national publicity by playing in this game, and certainly for all of those who are participants in those conferences, as more and more students are looking to HBCUs and parents are looking to HBCUs to enter their children.
Now, the good part about all of this is that, any given season, any team, any school could find themselves in this celebration bowl if they win their conference championship, which is dynamic because, you could look at a school like, maybe like a Prairie View or an Alabama A&M or my alma mater, Alabama State. And the positives that come out of being, making it to a game like this, I mean, it's endless because, every school likes to see the enrollment go up, because when the enrollment goes up, usually that means that they can, raise the tuition up, but not, but everybody likes to see that because your school is growing. I mean, when you have more students enrolled, then that means that you have the chances of having a better band, or you have a chance of having a better football team or a better basketball team, because you're getting those students in. And so I talk all the time about, how it would just be nice to see, HBCUs return to their glory day. And I know it was a long time ago, way before, integration occurred. But it would just be so great to be able to see the national brands like the Gramblings, like the Florida A&Ms, like the North Carolina A&Ts, and on and on and on. It would just be good to be able to see them on a weekly basis, because the more exposure that these schools get, the more likely they are to be able to attract Lennard Tillery or what's my boy's name up there in North Carolina A&T? Tariq Cohen. Yeah, the more you're likely to be able to get those kind of guys, from being on national television, because that's all these young kids. That's what they really want. They want the exposure, they want the lights on them, and they want to be on TV. And that's the one thing that HBCUs, for a long time, have not been able to give student athletes. So, I commend you guys for the outstanding job that you do putting this event on. And I know that you all also do the MEAC SWAC Challenge, which, as me and you have talked previously, and I know that you all plan on growing this thing by leaps and bounds. So, it would just be great if y'all could convince ESPN to just give us our own network. Just give us ESPN HBCU. Just give it to us.
Yeah, well, let me, say something about a couple things you said, and I think it's important for us, especially today. We're going to look forward in creating a new glory day for HBCUs.
Amen.
Without a reference to what used to be. We're going to focus on what is going to be.
Oh, yeah.
And what we can make it. You and I both know that, you can never go back But what you always can do is create a new history for HBCUs today. And I believe, I'm absolutely